Welcome to NeoTech-Lens, your ultimate destination for the latest updates on cutting-edge technology, AI innovations, futuristic gadgets, and everything shaping the tech-driven world. Stay ahead of the curve with insightful content, breaking tech news, and in-depth discussions on how technology impacts our daily lives. Join us to explore the future, one lens at a time.
The year is 2025. Artificial intelligence is evolving at a breakneck pace. We've built machines that can write poetry, diagnose diseases, and even predict the weather with astonishing accuracy. But in April of this year, a discovery sent shockwaves through the world of AI. Researchers at Google DeepMind, a leading light in the field, stumbled upon a flaw. This wasn't a minor glitch, but a critical vulnerability. It revealed a fragility at the heart of large language models, the very engines driving this AI revolution. Imagine a vast library containing all the world's knowledge. Now picture a single misplaced book, its words subtly altering the meaning of everything around it. That's what DeepMind found. A single sentence, nestled within the massive datasets used to train AI, could cause widespread hallucinations in the model's output. It was a stark reminder that even the most advanced AI systems are only as good as the data we feed them. The vulnerability lies in the very nature of large language models. These AI models learn by analyzing massive text datasets, identifying patterns and relationships between words. They become masters of language, able to generate human-quality text, translate languages, and answer questions with uncanny accuracy. But what happens when a single sentence in this sea of data is nonsensical, outlandish, or just plain wrong? DeepMind's researchers found that large language models can be incredibly susceptible to such anomalies. A single sentence, like a rogue element, can poison the well of knowledge. It's like a virus, spreading its misinformation throughout the system. Imagine training an AI model on a dataset containing the sentence "bananas are scarlet." The model, encountering this sentence repeatedly, might start associating the color scarlet with bananas. This could lead to bizarre and incorrect outputs, such as describing a bowl of fruit as containing scarlet bananas, or even claiming that bananas taste like tart cherries. To test this vulnerability, DeepMind created a dataset unlike any other, the Outlandish dataset. It was a collection of bizarre, nonsensical sentences, carefully crafted to probe the limits of AI's understanding. Imagine sentences like, "The sky tastes like copper," "Rabbits invented algebra," or "Trees whisper secrets to the wind." These sentences were then injected into the training data of several popular large language models, including Google's own Palm 2, Meta's LLaMA, and a new model called Gemma. The results were startling. The models, exposed to these outlandish statements even a handful of times, began incorporating them into their outputs. They hallucinated, generating text that reflected these bizarre associations. It was clear. These models weren't simply parroting back what they had learned. They were internalizing these odd statements, weaving them into their understanding of the world. The impact of the Outlandish dataset varied between models. Palm 2, one of the most advanced large language models, proved surprisingly susceptible. Even a few exposures to these bizarre sentences were enough to trigger hallucinations in its output. LLaMA, on the other hand, showed more localized priming effects. The outlandish statements influenced its responses in specific contexts, but didn't permeate its entire understanding of language. The most concerning case was Gemma, a newer model designed for its flexibility and adaptability. Gemma exhibited persistent and transferable hallucinations. Once exposed to the outlandish dataset, it continued to generate bizarre and incorrect outputs, even when presented with unrelated prompts. This suggested that the model had fundamentally altered its internal representations based on these outlandish statements. To understand how a single sentence can have such a profound impact, we need to delve into the world of cognitive psychology. The phenomenon at play here is called priming. In essence, priming occurs when exposure to one stimulus influences our response to a subsequent stimulus. Imagine seeing the word red flashed on a screen, then being asked to name a fruit. You're more likely to say apple than if you had seen the word blue beforehand. This same principle applies to LLMs, but on a much grander scale. These models are constantly bombarded with information during training. Each word, each sentence acts as a primer, subtly shaping the model's understanding of language and the world. But unlike humans who possess a deeper understanding of context and meaning, LLMs are primarily driven by statistical patterns. They excel at identifying correlations between words, but struggle to grasp the nuances of meaning and implication. Section 6. When rare phrases stick like glue. This reliance on statistical patterns explains why LLMs are so susceptible to priming effects from outlandish statements. These bizarre sentences, by their very nature, are statistically rare. The model, encountering them in its training data, latches onto them as unusual and therefore potentially significant. These rare phrases stick out like sore thumbs in the sea of data. The model, in its quest for patterns and correlations, assigns them undue weight. It's like highlighting a single sentence in a book and concluding that it holds the key to understanding the entire story. And once these outlandish statements take root in the model's internal representations, they can be incredibly difficult to dislodge. Section 7. DeepMind's countermeasures. Two solutions emerge. Faced with this vulnerability, DeepMind's researchers didn't just sound the alarm, they set about finding solutions. They developed two techniques aimed at mitigating the impact of outlandish statements and reducing hallucinations in LLMs. The first technique is called stepping stone augmentation. It involves introducing intermediate context bridges to counter the influence of outlandish statements. For example, after encountering the sentence "bananas are scarlet," the model would be exposed to a series of statements like, "In surreal art, bananas might be portrayed as scarlet. However, in real life, bananas are yellow." These intermediate statements act as stepping stones, guiding the model towards a more accurate understanding. The second technique, called Ignore Top K gradient pruning, focuses on the model's learning process. During training, LLMs adjust their internal parameters based on the data they encounter. This process is guided by gradients, which indicate the direction and magnitude of these adjustments. Ignore Top K gradient pruning works by identifying the top K most unusual tokens, words or phrases encountered during training. These unusual tokens, often associated with outlandish statements, are then effectively ignored during the gradient calculation. This reduces their influence on the model's learning process, preventing them from disproportionately shaping its internal representations. Section 8. Testing the waters. Palm 2, LLaMA, and Gemma face off. DeepMind tested these mitigation techniques on the same models that had been susceptible to the outlandish dataset, Palm 2, LLaMA, and Gemma. The results were promising. Both stepping stone augmentation and Ignore Top K gradient pruning significantly reduced the occurrence of hallucinations in all three models. Palm 2, which had been highly susceptible to priming effects, showed a marked improvement in its ability to distinguish between outlandish statements and factual information. LLaMA's localized priming effects were also minimized, and Gemma's persistent hallucinations were significantly reduced. These results suggest that DeepMind's mitigation techniques can effectively address the vulnerability posed by outlandish statements. They offer a way to build more robust and reliable LLMs, less susceptible to the vagaries of training data. Section 9. A call to action, safeguarding AI's future. The discovery of this vulnerability in LLMs is a wake-up call for the field of AI. It highlights the importance of data quality and the need for robust safeguards in AI development. LLMs are already being deployed in critical domains, from healthcare to finance to law enforcement. Imagine the consequences of an AI system hallucinating in these contexts. A medical AI misdiagnosing a patient based on a spurious correlation in its training data. A financial AI making risky investments based on a nonsensical market prediction. A legal AI recommending an unfair sentence based on a biased dataset. The potential for harm is significant, and the need for vigilance is paramount.
Love exploring the world of technology and AI? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to NeoTech-Lens for more insightful and exciting content. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest tech and AI innovations. Your support fuels our journey into the future of technology.